My name is Giuseppe Marletta. I'm Managing Director Europe at ACC, Association of Corporate Counsel. We are here today to start with an interview as part of our series, Ask Me Anything, where we interview peers and thought leaders that will be able to answer your questions. Today's guest is Nassib Abou-Khalil, who is Nokia CLO since August 2019. Nokia doesn't need a long introduction as it's a global leader with 5G and networks. So welcome, Nassib, and thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, Giuseppe. It's a pleasure to be here.
So Nassib, we observe at a global level a trend with a clear shift of in-house lawyers going from gatekeepers to business enablers. How do you see the trend going? How do you see the future in that respect?
Well, I think that first of all, the two are not mutually exclusive. I think they're complementary skills. Our roles as legal counsels is first and foremost to be gatekeeper. But in addition to that, it is fundamental for us to be business enablers. So, and not just to enable business, but to enable business in a way that allows for the sustainability of the business in the long term. This means ensuring sound decisions are made, fostering the long-term success and the health of the organization, and not just the immediate wins. Let me illustrate with an example. There's a lot of people in my team to whom I'm extremely grateful. They negotiate contracts day in and day out in many jurisdictions around the world. And let's take they decide to compromise on key legal provisions in the contracts that would create exposure for the company in 3 or 4 years, just for the sake of closing the contract today and booking the revenue. Then we would have perhaps enabled the business, but we would have failed in our role as gatekeeper, and we would not have achieved the long-term sustainable results that we should be aspiring to achieve as a company, as a business, and us as lawyers, as enablers of that long-term sustainable result.
Right. So I guess it's finding the fine line and the right balance between the two elements so that they can complement each other and bring lawyers to the strategic level, which of course it's something ACC is very working a lot on. Absolutely.
Absolutely. I think lawyers are embedded in the strategy of the company. They are part of the narrative. They're part of the dialogue, They're part of the conversation. They have their seat at the table. They are strategic advisors. They're not just back office employees who sit behind their desks.
So Nassib, allow me to go a bit more personal now. And as you know, ACC is very active in the field of diversity and inclusion. And I would like to ask you to share your experience as an out leader, and particularly about the Out Leaders program at Nokia, because I guess this can be a good source of inspiration for many ACC members and in-house lawyers.
Thanks, Giuseppe. We launched our Out Leader program at Nokia about a year ago. And the reason why we did that is because we felt there was a need to provide role models within our own business to inspire others to feel that they can be fully their authentic self at work. As I said, we started a year ago, and we continue to develop the program now virtually in this situation. It's not the most ideal way of developing it, but we do the best with what we have. Our goal truly is to create an environment where the LGBT plus community feels empowered and included, to provide continuous growth opportunities to the LGBT plus community, and to firmly establish Nokia as an employer of choice for the LGBT plus community, their allies, and indeed everyone who is passionate about genuine inclusion. For me, honestly, you said make it personal. It means a lot because it symbolizes reaching the summit of my journey as a person who's part of this LGBT plus community. I started out when I was young with fears about what people may think about families, about my family, what my friends might think about me if I came out and really became my true and authentic selves, what my colleagues might think about me. And for me to be who I am without fear and without hiding part of my identity, and to have the position that I have, is truly an accomplishment that I could have never imagined some years ago. So I'm very grateful for that to have happened. This desire to be an out leader is driven by my personal journey and the fact that my confidence grew in myself as a lawyer and as a leader, and I became more willing to be fearless and outspoken about being myself. And Nokia's culture and values have encouraged this development. It provided me with an environment for personal progress and where I felt truly included. And this motivated me in order to really step up and take part in and launch our art leadership program.
Thank you, Nassib. These are things that are really dear to ACC and to me as well. So I thank you for sharing your experience. And I would like to build on that and ask you, what is the role that for you the corporate world can play in advancement of diversity and inclusion?
Well, Giuseppe, I believe that the corporate world can play a fundamental role in advancing diversity and inclusion. We have a voice, we have means, and we have influence. And those three ingredients create an opportunities for us to make an impact and drive a constructive, positive narrative that encourages equality, that encourages inclusion, and that condemns discrimination and bias. We have seen this manifest itself more and more prominently as a result of the recent events surrounding the hashtag #MeToo movement and the Black Lives Matter movement. Many corporations spoke out loudly, expressing views supporting these movements, and I think this is great. But more importantly, we are not only talking about issuing statements and words, but also about taking actions. I'm not going to be so arrogant to say I'm going to change the world, or we at Nokia are going to change the world, but I do think that we can make a difference. And I do fundamentally believe that I will do anything I can within my sphere of influence in order to drive change, whether it is influencing my suppliers, engaging in constructive dialogue with the aim of improving diversity across the legal industry or the telecommunication industry or the community within which I'm working and engaging with nonprofit organizations such as the Diversity Lab and the MCCA, putting resources, energy, and effort in order to drive change and lead by example. I think all of these things are things that are within our realm in the corporate world. Currently, you might have seen this, but we are trialing Diversity Lab's Mansfield's Rule for Legal Department. We're part of the second edition in our global legal and compliance department at Nokia, and we aim to increase the representation of diverse lawyers in leadership by broadening the pool of lawyers who are considered for legal department jobs opening. High visibility opportunities and promotions and outside representations. So a lot of work, a lot of drive, a lot of motivation, not just from me, but I can honestly tell you from the entire legal and compliance team at Nokia and from the the vast majority, if not the entire Nokia team. So from my perspective, we can make a difference. We're driving to make that difference, and we should be committed to making that difference.
Absolutely. And this is really inspiring. And Nassib, really, I can thank you enough for your openness and leadership. And I'm sure the Inhouse community will appreciate your contribution. And I can thank you and look forward to our next opportunity to get connected and chat again. Thank you, Nassib.
Thank you very much, Giuseppe. It's been a pleasure, and I look forward to more engagement with the ACC in the future. I am honored that we are part of this organization, and I'm very happy that we're able to contribute.
Thank you.